Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Monday, May 29th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today's Memorial Day edition with last night's AEW Double or Nothing broadcast live on pay-per-view from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. MJF retained his AEW World Championship in his third defense of the title, winning the Four Pillars match against Darby Allin, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and Sammy Guevara. The win occurred when MJF pinned Allin with a side headlock takeover in 27 minutes and 36 seconds. In the main event of the evening, the Blackpool Combat Club defeated the Elite in an Anarchy in the Arena match when Wheeler Yuta pinned Kenny Omega in 26 minutes and 56 seconds, following outside interference from Konosuke Takeshita, who appeared to join the Blackpool Combat Club.
Well, who the hell is that? What is that? Who is that? Wait, that's not... Is that... It's Konosuke Takeshita! Oh, man! Konosuke Takeshita! Wow! Just hit the jumping knee on Kenny Omega!
Double or Nothing also saw both of AEW's women's championships change hands, with Toni Storm making short work of Jamie Hayter in just over 3 minutes to recapture the AEW World Women's title, and Chris Statlander making a surprise return to action to end the undefeated streak of Jade Cargill and win the TBS championship in under a minute. Prior to her loss, which brought her record to 60-1, Cargill had just successfully defended the title against Taya Valkyrie, pinning her in 8 minutes and 46 seconds. In successful title defenses, Wardlow defeated Christian Cage in a ladder match to retain the TNT Championship. FTR beat Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett to keep the AEW World Tag Team Championship. House of Black retained the World Trios title over the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. And international champion Orange Cassidy won the 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal to keep his title. In other results, Adam Cole beat Chris Jericho in an unsanctioned match via referee stoppage in 18 minutes and 59 seconds. The match saw Special Enforcer Sabu attack the Jericho Appreciation Society, including putting Matt Menard through a ringside table. Also last night, NXT presented Battleground, streamed live on Peacock and the WWE Network from the Tsongas Center in Lowell, Massachusetts. In the main event, Carmelo Hayes made his second defense of the NXT Championship, defeating former champion Bron Breakker in 14 minutes and 15 seconds. In the third major women's title change of the night, Tiffany Stratton beat Lyra Valkyria in 16 minutes and 1 second in the finals of the NXT Women's Championship Tournament to win the title, which had been vacant since being relinquished by Roxanne Perez due to injury. Stratton spoke backstage following the win in an NXT social media exclusive.
How do you feel?
All I have to say, Mackenzie, is are any of you guys surprised that I'm the new NXT Women's Champion? For the past 4 weeks, I have proven myself in every single match that I have had in this tournament. And all I have to say now is it's Tiffy time.
Also on the card, Gallus retained the NXT Tag Team title against the Creed brothers. Noam Dar retained the NXT Heritage Cup against Dragon Lee, and Wes Lee successfully defended the North American title against Joe Gacy and Tyler Bate in a three-way match. In other results, Ilya Dragunov beat Dijak in a last man standing match. In more AEW news, the company held a mandatory all-talent public relations briefing by new head of public relations Adam Hopkins last weekend in Las Vegas, according to a Fightful report. Hopkins, who held a similar public relations position with WWE for more than 20 years, reportedly discussed media literacy issues with AEW talent, coaching them on how to engage with wrestling journalists in an effort to prevent company information leaks and better represent the company as a whole. Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli, both of whom have extensive WWE experience, also reportedly spoke at the meeting. Those who spoke to Fightful were very positive about Hopkins' presentation and felt the information provided was very helpful. And we close with some unfortunate news. Promoter Brian Dixon, owner and operator of the longest-running professional wrestling promotion in the history of the United Kingdom, passed away yesterday at the age of 75, as was first made known on social media by British promotion Progress Wrestling. Dixon, who first broke into the business as a referee in the 1960s, first established the company originally known as Wrestling Enterprises of Birkenhead in October of 1970 and it ran all through the 70s and 80s and the first half of the 90s as a competitor to the already established Joint Promotions run by Max Crabtree. Following the demise of Joint Promotions, Dixon's company went on to thrive on the UK wrestling scene into the 21st century and became better known to fans in later years as All-Star Wrestling or Super Slam Wrestling. Dixon last year had turned over the day-to-day operations of All-Star Wrestling to family member Joseph Allmark. All-Star Wrestling remains in operation as one of the oldest wrestling promotions in the world, exceeded only by a handful of companies such as WWE and CMLL. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.